When a natural disaster strikes, a hurricane tearing through a coastline, a wildfire consuming a forest, an earthquake shaking the very ground beneath our feet, our attention immediately turns to the visible devastation. We see the news reports, the satellite images, the heartbreaking footage on the ground. We count the homes lost, the businesses destroyed, and thankfully the lives saved. It's a narrative of physical survival, of immediate, tangible loss and rescue. But there's a second disaster that unfolds in the quiet aftermath, one we don't see on the news. It's the disaster that happens inside our heads. This is the invisible toll, the psychological echo of the storm, the fire, or the tremor. It's the silent weight carried by survivors long after the emergency crews have left. I've met families who survived a flood, who were pulled from the rising waters, only to find they couldn't sleep for months, startled awake by the memory. The trauma doesn't wash away with the floodwaters. This internal crisis manifests in countless ways. I've seen kids who now jump at the sound of heavy rain or a clap of thunder. I've sat with elders who, after losing everything, simply stop talking, retreating into a world of silence. This isn't weakness. It's a profound human response to an overwhelming experience. And it is incredibly common. Research consistently finds that significant trauma symptoms appear in about a third of people directly affected by a major disaster. These aren't just fleeting feelings of sadness. We're talking about debilitating conditions. This includes recurring nightmares that replay the event over and over, sudden, overwhelming panic attacks that feel like you're dying, and a state of constant alertness, or hypervigilance, where your body is perpetually braced for another threat. For many, especially when the path to recovery is slow and filled with uncertainty, depression and anxiety can linger for years, becoming a chronic condition that shadows every aspect of their life. So, who gets hit hardest by this invisible storm? The answer is tragically predictable: the most vulnerable among us. Children, with their developing minds, absorb a fear they can't possibly name or understand. Their bodies often keep the score, leading to unexplained stomach aches and headaches. They may regress, returning to behaviors like bedwetting or thumb-sucking. You'll see intense clinginess, a desperate need for physical closeness to feel safe. And in school, the trauma manifests as an inability to concentrate, to learn, to play. Their world has been proven unsafe, and their minds are too busy trying to make sense of it to focus on anything else. Older adults face a devastating cascade of loss on top of loss. It's not just their home, it's the repository of a lifetime of memories. They lose their friends and neighbors who may have relocated or perished. They lose the simple, grounding daily routines that structure their existence. And critically, they often lose their independence, forced to rely on others in a way they never had to before. For an elder, the profound isolation that follows a disaster can be just as dangerous as the storm itself. For low-income families, the financial shockwave is catastrophic. They don't just lose a house, they lose their one job when the local factory floods. They lose the car they need to find new work. They lose the fragile safety net that was already stretched thin. This displacement forces a whole new life of instability. New schools for the kids, a labyrinth of new paperwork for aid that may never come, and a constant grinding new stress that erodes mental health day by day. Other groups face unique barriers. Migrants and refugees may be reliving earlier traumas from their home countries, and a deep-seated fear of authorities can prevent them from seeking help. People with disabilities face a nightmare of logistical challenges: disrupted access to essential medications, inaccessible shelters with stairs and narrow doorways, and a heightened level of anxiety as their carefully managed support systems are shattered. And a grim, often hidden reality is that in the high-stress, cramped conditions of post-disaster life, reports of domestic violence and child abuse frequently spike. Stress and confinement can turn an unsafe situation deadly. But here is the crucial point, the good news in all of this. Recovery is not magic, it's a method. We know what works, and it starts with understanding the timeline of healing. In the first 72 hours, the priorities are purely physiological. before we can even think about mental health, we must establish physical safety, provide clean water and food, and create an environment where a person can get some sleep. The brain cannot begin to process trauma until the body feels secure. In the first weeks, we move to psychological first aid. This isn't therapy. It's a compassionate, human-to-human response. It means listening without prying or asking for graphic details. It means offering practical comfort, like a warm blanket or a cup of tea. It means sharing accurate, verified information to counteract the rumors and uncertainty that fuel anxiety. And it means doing everything possible to help people reconnect with family and loved ones, because social connection is one of the most powerful buffers against trauma. For kids, the medicine is routine and play. Predictable schedules for meals, schoolwork, and bedtime help their brains feel safe again. And unstructured play is how children process what they've been through and heal their brains. For elders, regular check-ins from neighbors or volunteers can be a lifeline, breaking the crushing loneliness. For everyone, the re-establishment of community spaces, churches, schools, markets is vital. These are the places where normalcy begins to take root again. So, what can I do? What can you do? First, learn the signs of distress, not just in others, but in yourself. Uncharacteristic irritability, social withdrawal, persistent nightmares, or an increase in risky drinking are all red flags. Second, offer practical help. The burden of recovery is overwhelming. Offering rides to appointments, help navigating complex aid forms, or providing a few hours of childcare can relieve immense pressure and give a person the mental space to breathe. And in the age of social media, commit to sharing only reliable, verified updates from official sources, not rumors that spread fear. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, push our leaders to rebuild with mental health in mind. This means demanding that shelters are more than just warehouses for people. They need to be quiet, safe, and accessible, with private rooms for families, functional ramps for wheelchairs, and on-site translators. It means advocating for long-term funding for local counselors and mental health services, because the need will persist for years, not weeks. The storm may pass in a day, but the internal recovery is a marathon. Healing takes time, it takes resources, and it takes a community dedicated to caring for the whole person. When we measure the cost of a disaster, let's count the invisible wounds too.